This is the Face-Turning Octahedron, and it's a really weird puzzle. So the shape of this puzzle is called the octahedron. It's a regular polyhedron made of 8 triangles where there are 4 triangles meeting at each corner. But the interesting thing is the first part of its name, face-turning. On first glance, it looks like you'd really want to turn it like a pyraminx, but that would actually be a corner-turning octahedron. Now let's dissect the anatomy of this puzzle. There are 6 corner pieces, except each corner piece has 4 colors instead of the normal 3. There are 12 edges, just like there are on a 3x3, and there are 24 triangle pieces, which are basically like centers. Alright, so let's try to do some turns here. So let's see. Let's try and get some of these green pieces to the white side, get it like nice and scrambled.
Huh?
So, as it turns out, it's literally impossible to move pieces to an adjacent side. You can only move pieces to sides from it that are connected at the corners. So, this green is connected to pink, but just at one corner instead of along a whole edge. So that's what allows me to be able to get green to the pink side here. This effectively means that the pieces are locked into 2 different orbits with different sets of adjacent sides. So on this puzzle, it's white, red, purple, and blue are locked into one orbit, so you can't get purple to the green side or orange side, but only white, purple, red, and blue will mix with each other. And same thing with the rest of the colors, the pink, orange, green, yellow. But this means that the corners actually only have 2 orientations, because they can't be like this because white can't get to the green side. And this also means that the edge pieces only have 1 orientation, so you don't have to worry about flipping them in place because they'll always be oriented the correct way. Now let's go back to the shape of the puzzle. Another thing is that polyhedra can have duals, which you can kind of think about as a shape's opposite twin. The cube has 6 centers and 8 corners, but an octahedron has 8 centers and 6 corners. This means that the cube and the octahedron are duals of each other. And if I hold the octahedron like this, you can see how the corners on one correspond to the faces of another. So they're sort of like opposites. They're mathematical duals of each other. Okay, so how does the puzzle turn and what does it feel like? Well, it obviously resembles a pyraminx, meaning that each face has 3-fold symmetry. Doing a U2 is the same as doing a U prime, so double moves are pointless. But it also resembles a 3x3 in the fact that it has 3 layers, just like a 3x3. So they're both puzzles with 2 opposite faces and a slice layer in between. But because of the triangle pieces, it resembles a 4x4 because you can actually scramble and mess up the centers. This means that you have to know what the color scheme is or look at the corners to know what the color scheme is. So this crazy freaking thing is mathematically the opposite of a cube, looks like a pyraminx, has 3 layers, but also centers that you can mess up like a 4x4. Absolute insanity. And finally, how many possible states does it have? The standard 3x3x3 has over 43 quintillion different scrambled states. But despite the restrictions on the orbits and orientations of the pieces of the FTO, it has 31 sextillion states. Despite all this madness, the FTO is a super intriguing puzzle and has been gaining more popularity recently among speedcubers. Heavily popularized by Ben's puzzles, the Bensisco Method is currently the fastest method for solving the FTO. The method starts by solving a center, holding that on the left, and then building what's called a triple, which is kind of like an F2L pair except with 2 triangles and 1 corner. It kind of looks like a Roux first block after that, but after this we build the centers. After building the centers, you make and insert the last triple just like this, and now you are left with the last layer, which you just solve by intuitively or using algorithms. And now I just have sort of this U-perm left, so then do the algorithm, and there we go. The FTO is solved. Another cool method that isn't really used for speed solving is the reduction method, which actually reduces it into an octaminx, which is sort of just a pyraminx but without the tips. Popularity in the FTO has been gradually increasing, and it's actually being held at some WCA competitions as an unofficial extra event. Personally, I think that it deserves to be an event because it's really like nothing we've ever seen before, and it's super unique. You can buy the LanLan FTO from thecubicle.com for $13.99 right now, and save 5% off with my discount code ROWAN. Nice. The LanLan one doesn't really turn very well out of the box, but there's an excellent tutorial by Ben's Puzzles on how you can sand down and modify and lubricate the pieces in order to set it up so that it performs better. This one that I have is a custom 3D printed one called a RexTO, which is made from a Rex cube with 3D printed parts for the octahedron. Anyway, that's it, so thanks for watching and subscribe.